Today's story will touch your heart in ways unexpected. We ask that you listen until the very end, for within these words lies a truth many overlook in their daily lives. The tale begins in a remote mountain village during the harshest winter in decades. Snow had blanketed everything in sight, and the biting cold had claimed several lives already. In this desolate setting worked Dr. Ruiz, a physician whose brilliance was matched only by his coldness toward patients. Dr. Ruiz had been exiled to this remote post 3 years ago after a medical scandal in the capital. Once the nation's most celebrated surgeon, he had been accused of negligence resulting in a senator's death during a routine procedure. Though never proven guilty, the public outcry and professional shunning had driven him to this isolated assignment where no one knew his past. The villagers feared him almost as much as they needed him. His hands worked miracles, but his eyes remained distant, his words few and cutting. The nurses called him Iceman behind his back, a healer who could mend bodies but seemed to possess no heart of his own. One night, as the blizzard reached its terrifying peak, a knock came at the clinic door. When Dr. Ruiz opened it, he found a young woman named Nima, her clothes thin and tattered, carrying something wrapped in blankets. A child, no more than 5 years old, barely breathing. "Please," she whispered, her voice breaking. "Save my daughter." The child, Zuri, showed symptoms Dr. Ruiz recognized immediately, a rare inflammatory condition that required immediate intervention. As he began treatment, Nima stood watching, her eyes never leaving her daughter's face. "You should rest," Dr. Ruiz said, not looking up from his work. "I cannot. Every moment I have with her might be my last," Nima replied. Something in her voice made Dr. Ruiz pause. "What do you mean?" Nima's story emerged slowly. She was not the child's birth mother, but her aunt. When Zuri's parents had died in a landslide the previous spring, Nima had taken her in against the wishes of village elders who believed the orphaned child carried misfortune. Now, Nima had been given an impossible choice: abandon the child or be banished from her community. "I chose her," Nima said simply. "She is mine now, whatever comes." For 3 days and nights, Dr. Ruiz worked tirelessly to save Zuri's life. Nima remained by his side, assisting when asked, learning quickly, never complaining despite her obvious exhaustion. On the 3rd night, as Zuri's fever finally broke, Dr. Ruiz found himself studying Nima's face, the determination etched in every line, the unwavering devotion to a child not of her blood. "Why?" he asked suddenly. "Why risk everything for her?" Nima looked up, surprised by the personal question from the usually detached doctor. "Because love is not about deserving or convenience. It is a decision you make every day, especially when it's difficult." Her words struck something deep within him. For the first time in years, Dr. Ruiz felt a crack forming in the wall he had built around himself. As Zuri slowly recovered, Nima continued coming to the clinic. At first, she came for Zuri's checkups, then to help with other patients, and eventually as an informal assistant to Dr. Ruiz. The villagers noticed the change, not just in Nima's status, rising from outcast to respected healer's apprentice, but in Dr. Ruiz himself. His instructions became less brusque, his manner less distant. One evening, as they worked side by side organizing supplies, Nima asked the question no one in the village had dared to voice. "What happened to you before you came here?" The room fell silent. Minutes passed. Then unexpectedly, Dr. Ruiz began to speak. "I killed a man," he said, his voice barely audible. Not with malice, but with pride. "I was so certain of my skills that I missed something any first-year resident would have checked. By the time I realized my mistake, it was too late." Nima listened without judgment as he described the aftermath, the investigation, the cleared charges due to insufficient evidence, but the certainty in his own heart of his guilt. "I didn't come here as punishment," he continued. "I came here to disappear, to practice medicine where I could do no real harm." "Yet here you save lives every day," Nima observed quietly. "Small amends," he replied. Nima shook her head. "There is no measurement for a life saved, Dr. Ruiz. Each one is infinite." Winter gave way to spring, and with the thawing snow came rumors from the capital. The senator's case had been reopened after new evidence emerged. A nurse had come forward, confessing that she had administered the wrong medication prior to surgery, the true cause of the senator's reaction and subsequent death. Dr. Ruiz had been officially exonerated, his reputation restored. A letter arrived from the capital's prestigious medical center, offering him his old position back with honors and compensation. The entire village heard the news, and a small celebration was organized. Everyone attended except Nima and Zuri. That night, Dr. Ruiz found them at the edge of the village preparing a small cart with their belongings. "You're leaving?" he asked, confusion evident in his voice. "Your name is cleared now. You'll return to your life in the capital," Nima said without meeting his eyes. "And we must find our own way." "Why?" "The village council has revoked my permission to stay. With you leaving, they see no reason to tolerate our presence." Dr. Ruiz stood silent, the letter of reinstatement heavy in his pocket. For 3 years he had dreamed of nothing but returning to his former life, erasing the stain on his career. Yet now, facing the prospect, he felt hollow. "What if I'm not leaving?" he said finally. Nima looked up, startled. "But your position, your life's work." "My life's work is healing," he interrupted. "And I've learned more about true healing in these months with you and Zuri than in all my years of practice before." The next morning, the village awoke to find Dr. Ruiz at the clinic as usual, but with a letter posted on the community board. In it, he declined the capital's offer and instead proposed establishing a permanent regional medical center in the village, one that would bring resources, training, and jobs to the isolated community. There was one condition: Nima would be officially recognized as his apprentice and future physician, and she and Zuri would be granted permanent residence under his personal guarantee. The council debated fiercely. Some opposed the arrangement, clinging to old superstitions about Zuri. Others saw the economic opportunity. In the end, the promise of prosperity won out and they reluctantly agreed. What the villagers didn't know, what Dr. Ruiz himself was only beginning to understand, was that his condition was not merely professional concern. In Nima's quiet strength and Zuri's resilience, he had found something he thought forever lost: hope. As seasons changed, so did the village. The medical center flourished, bringing visitors and new residents. Nima's natural empathy made her an exceptional healer, complementing Dr. Ruiz's technical expertise. Zuri grew strong and curious, shadowing them both and showing an early aptitude for medicine herself. And something else grew too: a bond between the broken doctor and the steadfast woman who had taught him that redemption comes not from erasing the past, but from building something new from its lessons. 1 year later, as autumn painted the mountains in gold and crimson, Dr. Ruiz found Nima alone in the clinic garden, harvesting herbs for medicine. "Do you ever regret staying?" he asked. She looked up at him, the late afternoon sun catching in her eyes. "Never. This is where I was meant to be." "And with whom?" he added, his voice uncertain. Nima's smile was answer enough. That evening, they walked through the village with Zuri between them, her small hands clasped in theirs, forming a bridge between past and future. The villagers who once whispered in fear now nodded in respect, not just for the renowned doctor, but for the family that had formed against all odds. Dr. Kai Ruiz, once known as the Iceman, had found his heart again. Not in the accolades of the capital or the techniques of modern medicine, but in the courage of a woman who taught him that healing begins with oneself and that love indeed is a decision made daily. Friends, the lesson of this tale is clear. Redemption is not found in running from our mistakes, but in facing them with courage. Second chances come not as rewards from others, but as choices we make ourselves. And sometimes, the family we need most is not the one we're born into, but the one we create through compassion and understanding. True healing, whether of the body or the soul, requires both skill and heart. Without either, we remain incomplete. If this story moved something within you, please remember to like this video and share it with someone who might need its message today. Subscribe to our channel for more tales that illuminate the hidden corners of the human experience. And before you go, leave a comment with the word healing if you believe that everyone deserves a second chance at redemption. Your support allows us to continue bringing these stories of hope and transformation to light.
If you've made it this far and haven't subscribed yet, why not? We pour our heart into every video, and your one click means more than you know. Subscribe and share. It's the fuel that keeps us going. And just like this story, I have another exciting story for you. Just click on the video on your screen. I'll be waiting for you.